stories of Brisco and Bradshaw. I would be Bradshaw. That would be your Chickasaw native, the Chickasaw Hall of Famer, Oklahoma's favorite son, Mr. Gerald Brisco. And what a treat we have today. The longest, according to the internet, what the internet is always right, the longest reign of any light heavyweight champion in WWE history. He is also known as a name that's portion of this name, Mr. Dwayne Gill. Also, Gilberg is here with us. Gilberg, welcome to the show.
Hey. Thanks for having me, guys, man. I know one thing. I can't wait for this, man. I've been excited so much for this. It's unreal.
Well, Dwayne, when I saw you in Chillicothe, Ohio, a couple of weeks ago, man, you just lit up the room when you came in. I could hear people buzzing. One of the people smiling, and they got a big laugh about. I looked over on the other side of the room, over the main event guys over there, and there was Dwayne Gill sitting over there. I said, man. We hadn't got him on our podcast yet. Now's the perfect time, man. I rushed over there just to ask you if you'd kindly come on our show, and you're more than happy to. Man, we appreciate it, man. And it's so great to have you on. I hadn't seen you in a long time, so it's always good to see you. That's the reason John and I both enjoy going to those things. It's not so much, the signing, you get a couple of bucks in your pocket when you walk out of the place. But seeing all the fans and how gracious they are and some of the memorabilia they bring to you to sign and everything is phenomenal. That's what I really, and then seeing guys like you and everybody else was there that night. You had on that Job Squad t-shirt that, man, I just love. Somebody stole mine one night there, and I don't even know where I was at. I was so inebriated, but they stole my damn job box. So I saw Al sitting next to you, and I said, Al, I got to have one of those shirts. He said, I'll send you one. Of course, it's been a month later, and he ain't sent it to me yet. So.
Oh, I'll send it to you, though, man. You know that.
Yeah, he'll send it to me. I just probably got to send him my address. That might help, But.
Yeah, Jerry, that might help. So send me one.
It will definitely help some.
Yeah.
Al's a great guy, man, and I appreciate him still letting me pimp the Job Squad stuff and all. You know what I mean? I appreciate so much when they pitched it. He basically was like, yeah, let him in, man, bring him on.
Cool. Hey, Dwayne, tell us a little bit about your upbringing. I know you're from the banner in the back. I know you're a Baltimore Ravens fan, and it is a.
And you're right by the bridge that just got.
John and I was just discussing. You had to rush home. You're rushing home. You didn't happen to hit a bridge or something, did you?
Oh no, I didn't hit a bridge, but that bridge is out in front of my house, though. I'll tell you that, about a mile away. You can definitely see it. It's a sad thing, man. That's unreal.
So did you grow up in the Baltimore area, and tell us a little bit about your background? You're in athletics, or who was you watching in professional wrestling that kind of lit that fire for you?
Yes, sir. Well, me, I've been a fan, and I like to say, how we call fans marks. I like to say the real mark is us. Yeah. Because we say, I don't care how much it hurts. I don't care how bad it is. I don't care how little I make. I'm getting in that ring and doing that. So
even if you got to take a clothesline from JBL.
Yes, sir. Believe me, we'll get into that later. But I was a total fan my whole life. Wrestling only came on one time a week, and I was on Saturday at 4:00. And I didn't care where I was.
And what organization was that?
Sir?
What organization was that?
That was WWF. Definitely WWF. There was no other for me. You know what I mean?
What year was that? What years were that when you was watching? Just to give people.
Oh my God, you're talking 19. So I started at about 1961. I started watching, and I've been watching ever since.
And so who were the major guys you watched?
Bruno Sammartino, Larry Zbyszko, the Samoans, definitely Alpha Sika. You know what I mean? Putski, all those guys. It was all them. Shoot, man. I mean, you had Jesse, you had Superstar, you had the Masked Superstar, Bill Eadie, you had him. I mean, it was all those guys. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because
that's what I grew up on.
Because Baltimore was a regular stop on that circuit for WWF.
Yeah.
WWF then.
And then they started having the Tuesday Night Titans. My partner and I would go to that all the time. Barry Hardy, he got me. He's See, I was the super fan my whole life. Like I say, if I was playing baseball and somebody said it's 3:30, I would drop the bat and run home as fast as I could because I knew my father was sitting on the couch with a bowl of popcorn ready. Boom, man, we'd sit there and just watch it. Rah, rah, rah. Then we moved to Florida, and I had standing reservations at the Eddie Graham Sports Arena. 2 rows back, man, every month. Every month I watch Dusty, Mike Graham, yeah, everybody. You know what I'm saying? All those guys come up, and it was a ball. And I mean, I was just And then I moved back to Maryland, and I met Barry Hardy, my buddy, and he used to go, "Man, you watch that fake shit, man? I ain't watching that stuff. I ain't watching. Man, come on, Barry, man, you got what? No, I ain't watching. I ain't watching it." And we hung out for like 3 years, but every time wrestling came on, he would just leave. You know what I mean? And then he got married, I got married, and I didn't see him for like a year and a half, 2 years. And I was watching wrestling, and I went, "Babe, ain't that Barry, but a lot bigger?" He was all jacked up, you know what I mean? And she goes, "That is Barry." And then Barry Hardy came across the screen, and I was like, "Oh, this son of a bitch is a wrestler, man." And he told me he didn't like the stuff. So I immediately called his mother because that's the only number I had. And she said, "Dwayne, he's home. That stuff's pre-recorded." I said, "Give me his number." I called him. He lived like 5 blocks away from me. And when I called him, he said, "Come on over." That night, I started learning hip tosses, body slams, and arm drags on a concrete floor. I kid you not. I kid you not. That night. And, he
So
started.
what happened with Barry Hardy that he all of a sudden started liking it? He found somebody was in it.
No.
What happened?
We knew a congressman, and the congressman had reservations ringside. He loved wrestling, right? And one night he couldn't go, and he gave Barry the tickets, and Hulk Hogan walked out. That was it. That was it. He said he felt that electricity and that crowd, and I got to do this. And he went to Larry Sharp's Monster Factory.
Yeah. And it's funny what you remember when I was I don't remember if I was in college, maybe college, and I went to, I think, reunion. No, I can't remember where it was. It was somewhere in Texas, and Bill Watts was there, and he said somebody who's going to wrestle a couple, 3 guys were going to beat him up or something, and they said, "If you're so tough, why you got a baseball bat?" And he goes, "I don't need a baseball bat. I got something better." And out come the Road Warriors. And when they came out, I just, that place to this day, I've never heard anything. That's about the Road Warrior Pop.
Road Warrior Pop, yeah.
Oh my goodness. But when you have that, something happens to you when you're not in it. And you look at it and you go, "Oh my God, I got to get in this. This is the greatest thing I've ever seen."
That's what happened to him. Like that. Boom. I got to be one of these. And that's what he did. And I'll be honest with you, gentlemen, all the way up to the first punch in the ring, I swore everything was 100%. You know what I mean? Until my first punch when I was learning. And I went, "You are kidding me, right, Barry?" And he goes, "Nope, that's it, brother."
How old were you?
Said, "Oh, shit."
How old were you?
Am I messing up by saying shit? I'm not ruining the podcast, am I?
No, not yet.
Oh, okay. All right.
Not yet. No, you might ruin it later, but you're not ruining it yet.
We'll leave that to John. I mean,
oh my goodness, we had Median on, and he said, he goes, "I'll watch my language." He's one of the few guys who said he'd watch his language. Every other word was an F-bomb. Every other word. It was every other word.
My God.
We certainly don't care.
So anyway, as John was asked about, what age were you at that time then?
I was 26. 26.
So you're a little late coming then.
Really. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I loved it my whole life. Yeah. I was an athlete. I wrestled in school. I played football. I played baseball. I mean, I was an athlete. And I heard something outside. I'm sorry.
Maybe it was another bridge falling.
And then I got home and I started learning how to wrestle. And first thing Barry said was, "You got to gain weight, bro." I was 180 pounds, ripped to shreds. You know what I mean?
Right.
He said, "You got to gain weight." And then he showed me how to gain weight artificially. And, I went up to about 225,
What
230.
was it, a can of 12-ounce Budweiser?
Yes, sir. That's exactly how it was. And to be honest with you, and I'm going to shock everybody right now, my third professional match was in WWF.
Wow.
Yep.
So let's
wait,
back
wait,
up.
wait. Who was it with?
Man, I think it was Demolition. If I'm not mistaken, it was Demolition. But I remember the first time I wrestled the Road Warriors, and this is the God's honest truth. We're in the ring, and we're standing there, and Barry's walking out in front of him. He's pointing at him. He's yelling at him. He's going, "We want the belts. We want the belts." And Animal looked over at me and went like this. Dude, I swear to God, I backed up to Barry. I said, "Hey, brother, they know this shit ain't real, right, man? Man, come on, brother." And he goes, "Man, get out of my way. I'm gonna kick your ass." And I'm going, "Man, shut up, Barry. Shut up, man. Shut up. I gotta get in there first." I swear to God, I was scared to death. And then,
so we worked with Animal. Was he ever smartened up?
who? Animal. I loved Animal, man. I loved Animal, man. Those guys were great. So
no, Animal was great.
They're great guys, man.
I told Animal, I said, "Give me the power slam." He goes, "No, I got to give it to him. He's the power guy." Because remember, Barry was short and real stocky. And I said, "No, give it to me." He goes, "I got to give it." I said, "Trust me, Animal, give it to me." And he goes, "No, I got." And Barry goes, "Give it to him. Trust me on this." And he goes, "All right." When he whipped me in and he said power slam, if you remember correctly, he was reaching like this, and I was about 1.5 feet over his hands. And he caught me on the way down. And when he hit, we hit so hard that he stood right up like this. And he was like, "Ah." After the match, he said, "Dude, you're getting it every time."
Oh, no.
Yeah, and you remember we wrestled them probably 5,000 times.
Wow.
What
So
did
you went.
Hey, what
Go
did you
ahead,
normally beat them with?
I would press slam Animal and throw him on top of Hawk, and then I just stand here with 1 foot on top of him. You remember you wrestled me? Remember I used to press slam you?
I remember, yeah. Then throw me on top of Ron.
I'll tell you what. The night I wrestled him, I was all excited because I was wrestling the Acolytes, man. I went in to him and Ron. I was like, "Hey, guys, I'm wrestling you tonight." I remember clear as day. Bradshaw looked at me, goes, "Hell, Gill, what'd you do?" I said, "I didn't do nothing." Why? He goes, "You'll see." Son of a bitch, dude. You knocked me out 3 times with the clothesline.
Yeah, one match.
In one match, in that match. I found out why. Blue Meanie was my partner. Ron Simmons gave me 5 dominators on the floor outside the ring. And then he wanted to whip me into the railing. So I figured, what the hell? I'm going to dive over the rail and go back into the crowd, right? And this is when Ron scared the hell out of me. I went out there over into the crowd. He grabbed me by the ass of my pants. And I'm like 225, 230. Ass in my pants and the back of my neck with his arms stretched completely out like this. And he goes, "Hey, brother, we ain't allowed out there," and dropped me on the floor. I was like, "Oh my God." Man, remind me never to mess with these 2 guys.
No kidding.
Hey, if you remember, we were in the dressing room. We were in the dressing room and we had newspapers over our face because we had been out all night. I mean, all night.
Yeah, I know.
We're asleep in the dressing room on the floor. And Gilberg comes in, Dwayne comes in, and he kind of kicks Ron on the foot because he's got to let him know. He goes, "Ron, I'm working with you tonight." And Ron takes the newspaper off for just a second. He goes, "Who you got heat with?" And puts the paper on.
I'll tell you what, after the match, this is no shit. If you remember, I walked in to slam my wallet down on the bench. I said, "Brother, whatever I owe you, please take it, because I ain't taking another ass whooping like that." Bradshaw's laughing his ass off. He goes, "Hell, Gill, that's how I work, brother." And I started watching you, brother. That's how you work. You were hardcore son of a bitch, man. I ain't lying. You whooped my ass, and you were being nice.
And he laughed about it.
Yeah, I still remember the first clothesline. I woke up in the ring and I'm going, what the
You
hell
woke
was
up in the ring.
that? And Ron Simmons was in the ring. That's how long I was out. And Ron goes, roll over, little brother, roll over. So I roll over and get up on all four. And I swear to God, I thought he was punting a friggin' football a mile because I went, he kicked me so hard, I fell over. I was like, oh my God, what did I do? I was wondering the whole match, man, what did I do? What did I do?
Yeah.
I found out what I did. I partnered up with Meanie.
That's it. So you're down at the
that was a
Monster.
bad time for Bradshaw and Meanie.
So you're down at the Monster Factory. You had some really unique classmates that down there too that made it big time also along with you, right?
Yes, sir. Well,
who were some of the guys?
I trained in Barry Hardy's basement.
Wow.
We bought a ring and put it in his basement, and that's where I trained.
That's
then
a big ass basement, brother.
Yeah, then I went up to the Monster Factory and met Larry Sharp. And
how did you find out about Larry Sharp? Just through the grapevine?
Barry Hardy trained under Larry Sharp and all. And Bam Bam Bigelow and Charlie Fulton and all that is where Barry trained under. And Barry took me up because I had to meet Larry because Larry was sending the guys to WWF.
Oh.
So I had to go up and do a tryout for Barry for Larry. And Barry told him, I got a guy I've been training. He's really good. Will you check him out? And yeah. Well, the guy I got to wrestle was Glenn Ruth. Yeah. And we beat the piss out of each other, man. But see, I had a thing that I could do that nobody else could do. And that's where when you bring me in the hard way, I could go all the way across the ring and go out the ropes on the other side. And nobody could do that. And I did it against Razor one time. And when he slingshotted me in, he turned around to like do his thing. And he's like, where is he? I went all the way out of the ring. And so I did it when Larry was coming out of his office. I, did that. And Larry goes, whoa, 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 stop. I said, what? And he goes, I don't believe I saw what I think I just saw. Do that again. And I said, what? So I got out and Barry started punching on me, you know what I mean? Because I was wrestling Barry and Glenn. We were doing a three-way. And he said, no, quit punching. Just pull him in so I could see it. And he did it. Boom. I jumped. I hit. And when I hit, I stood right up and leaned on the ropes like this. I said, is that what you wanted? He goes, you can go. You can bump like that. You can go. And who was with him was the Soul Taker. Do you know who that is?
Was that Charles?
Yep. But it was when he was his biggest. Wow. And he had a mohawk and everything. He was gigantic, man. I asked Barry, I said, hey, Barry, we got to wrestle those guys? He goes, oh, yeah. I said, oh, shit. And then I didn't realize, but when I went to WWF, everybody was that size. I mean, everybody. It was unbelievable.
Yeah, they had
Paul White was there too. Paul White.
Well, Paul White came in and trained. I was a wrestler for years before Paul. Paul White actually came to my Monster Factory too and learned how to wrestle because I own 2-3 Monster Factories.
So how did that work? You had a Monster Factory. And by the way, let's give a shout out to that Monster Factory. They trained so many superstars.
Oh yeah, the Monster Factory name is awesome.
Even today, with
yes,
Danny Cage, Danny's a fantastic trainer, fantastic coach, man. Mm-hmm. If you're in that area and you're looking to get in the business, you can't go wrong by going to that school. He's trained a lot of
yes,
WWE superstars.
But I had a Monster Factory in Maryland, and what I did was I would just give. Larry said, just be good to the name, treat it right, and give me 10%. And I gave him 10% of every student, which is nothing. You know what I mean? And Paul used to come down and train at our school. And that's what the good thing was with doing that. Then he could have his guys come down and train at my school, and my guys could go up and train at his school. So it helped. He learned different ways and all.
Right.
And
I think that's a great way to do it, too. I mean,
oh, yeah. Yes, sir. I agree. I agree wholeheartedly, but Larry was, I know I hear a lot of horror stories about Larry, but that man was never nothing but good to me,
I just know a school is a first-class school and its facility. I mean, they share the facility with the amateur wrestling. So you got the amateur match, you got a weight room in there, you got an interview
Yes,
room
sir.
in there. They got all the tools to teach you how to get over in
Yes,
modern
sir.
day business there. So, it's a wonderful place. But while you're training there, you're with Big Show, you're with the future Godfather, you're with the future Headbangers, and a couple other guys in
Oh,
there.
D-Lo.
Oh yeah, wow.
D-Lo was with us.
Yeah.
God, everybody was there. I mean,
Uh,
there was a lot of people. Chris Candido. There was a lot of people there with me. That became stars. That's for sure.
So
I
the
was
Monster Factory, forgive me for not knowing because I don't know much about anything that's not outside of WWE. When you're just in the WWE world, you don't know a lot. You run into other people, you learn some more. So is Larry Sharp still running the Monster Factory?
Larry left
Sharp.
us.
Larry's passed away.
Yeah, a couple years ago.
Danny Cage is now
Yeah.
the owner and director of that place.
And so the Monster Factory is still going.
Still
Yes.
going.
Oh, yeah.
How many?
As a matter of fact,
How many years is that? Would you think that Monster Factory's been going?
Oh my God, it was. I mean, I started my Monster Factory in what 91, 92, and it was 10, 12 years ago. Because remember, Buddy Rogers and Larry owned it.
Oh yeah, I didn't know that. I didn't
Buddy
know
Rogers Buddy Rogers and Larry started it.
Wow.
Yeah, so it was years, like
Yeah,
probably.
John, you walk in there, and then their entire wall is at former stars, and it's like walking through a WWE photo gallery. I mean,
Bam Bam Bigelow was there.
I knew all the guys. I knew all the guys who came from there. I just didn't know much about it, because
new guys. I mean, isn't Damian Priest from there?
Yeah, Damian Priest is from there. Yeah.
I'll tell you what, that man.
Matt Riddle also trained there too.
Oh, Matt was trained there.
Yeah.
I just saw Matt last week.
Yeah, well, he was in Chillicothe with us too.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
And so, are you running your Monster Factory now?
No, sir. I don't have a school at all. I actually started a school in 2010 called Gilberg's, and it was going great. I had 3 rings. It was with MCW. We had Rage TV. Everything was going perfect. And then I was down in Arizona about to sign a contract for a 25,000 square foot building so I could have 2 schools going like that. And I had a student pass away, which cost us everything.
Wow.
Because everybody's like, oh, don't want nothing to do with you, bye. I mean, Ring of Honor was about to start renting my school and putting all their stuff in my school. Their guys were going to start training there and everything. The kid passed away, and that was it. And he had a brain aneurysm.
Right.
Wow. So to brighten things up there, so you work in the Monster Factory for a while. How did you get your break? Because your first break was with WWE, obviously. If you had your 3rd or 4th.
Yes, sir. When I went up and tried out for Larry, he sent me to do jobs. And people used to go, why you go up there and get your... I said, do you realize who I'm wrestling? I mean, you guys were gods to me. You know what I mean? I was Super Mark. Now I'm a wrestler and I'm in the locker room with the Bulldog, Hogan, you guys. You know what I mean? It's like, oh my God, everywhere I look, awesomeness, I'll go out there and lose. I'm ready. That's why I would work 2, 3, 4 times a night. Hell, one night, Vince come out of the trailer back when they had the trailers in there.
What'd you do to your microphone?
Who, me?
Yeah, John, is it him?
I ain't doing on my microphone.
Yeah, something happened to your microphone. Okay, quick reset, little technology problem, but the old 3 wrestlers got it all figured out. So, Dwayne, we're back. So,
all right,
talking about the Monster Factory.
Yes, sir.
So,
and who I had started with, because it was Glenn Ruth, D-Lo, Chris Candido, Bam Bam Bigelow, all of us were there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So during your stay there, you got to meet guys like Godfather and all that popped in there too, and then the Big Show started popping in now there also, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. A great guy or what?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Superman. Tell us a little bit. You're at the Monster Factory, and like I was saying before, your first contract or your first pro match, and what, the third or fourth pro match, you were already with WWE, right? Tell us a little
Yes,
bit about how
sir.
that happened.
Well, Larry sent us up to do jobs, and I went up to do jobs, and that's what I started doing. You know, I was loving life, and well, I mean, Larry liked me so much that he made Barry and I his tag. Yeah, we literally beat Barry. Now you know how big Barry and I were. We beat Chief Thunder Mountain and the New Jersey Roadblock. That was two 500-pound guys. You just saw it. It was hilarious. We looked like ants beating on a mountain, man. I ain't kidding you. But we were the WWA tag team champions for a long time. You know, and those old WWF belts.
Yeah, and what led you to Monster Factory anyway? You had heard that Larry had a connection with WWE, and so at what stage? I mean, did you think you were ready, or did you, man, I'm getting thrown into the wolves too early, or what was the deal?
Oh no, I didn't think I was ready at all. But Barry, my partner, said, "Believe me, Dwayne, you bump ridiculous. They're gonna love you up there." And luckily they did. And I mean, I would, you know that I would work anytime, anywhere. That's why we came up with the mask gimmicks. We tried to come up with the turtle gimmicks. We tried everything. You know, I told Vince one time, I said, Vince, I don't care if you dress us up as two turds and call us get your shit together. We just want a job.
I'm surprised Vince didn't take you up on that.
Yeah.
I would have won out. I swear I would have. You know me, Bradshaw. I just love being with you guys. You know,
tell us about the turtle gimmick.
Oh, with that, you know, we carried that for 6 months up there. We carried that turtle gimmick up there 6 months. And then finally, I said, Barry, I'm going to put it on. I'm putting it on, going out and dancing around the locker room. And he said, no, you won't. And he went out to a match, and I put it on. I went out dancing around the locker room. I started like break dancing, spinning around and all. And I stopped and put my hand like this. And when I did, there's two shoes right in front of me. I went, oh, no. Because you could tell by how expensive they were who it was. And I stood up, and Vince is laughing his ass off. He goes, who's under there? And I took the mask off. He goes, I should have known. And he said, you got another one? I said, yes, sir, I do. He said, well, he looked around. He goes, you're wrestling the Turtles next. And I go, we can't, Mr. McMahon. He goes, why not? I go, Barry's in the ring right now. He goes, I suggest he dress fast. Barry come in, and he's all sweaty and all from the match. He's like, hey, it was I said, come on, Barry, hurry up. We're Tony Mara. I'm trying to put down. He goes, what are you doing? I said, I gotta get these tights on you quick, man. I said, I've done made the match up with these guys and everything, man. We got it going, man. He's like, what are you talking about? I said, the Turtles are on, brother. We're on. He's like, no. I said, we're next. He goes, awesome, man. So we finally, you know how hard it is to put tights on. Well, imagine a suit like that being wet. We got it all together. We get out there, right? And I said, Barry, when he slams you, just lay on your back and start kicking like a turtle. Can't roll over. I said, now I'll roll in and roll your ass back over.
Only in the business, man.
Yep. Well, like I was telling you, the finish, you know, we did it in the match. Well, the finish, we had to finish. It was called Shell Shock. And I'm surprised I don't see nobody doing nothing like this today yet. What we did was how I came in the hard way. I could fly across the ring, no problem. So I could hit the middle with no problem, right? Barry would slam the guy in the middle of the ring and then come over and tag me and slingshot me in. And I'd do the flip and land on my back on him. You know what I mean? Which is shell shock. Got hit with the shell. You know, we used to call it, when we were Lords of Darkness, we called it death from above.
So what were the Turtles' names? I forgot. Forgive me. I can't remember the year.
Tommy and Terry, the Toxic Turtles.
Tommy and Terry. No Raphael or any of those stuff. What happened to the Turtle? Did you guys run into some copyright infringement?
There they are right here.
Cool, man.
We got cards. I got cards made and all.
All right. Tommy and Terry, I love it. Yes,
sir. I still pimp them.
So what happened with the Turtles? Was it the copyright or the patent?
Yeah, they killed it immediately. Vince loved it, but the copyright, no. Too much like
no damn lawyers know how to kill a good buzz, don't they?
Oh yeah.
So who'd you get sued? Who'd you get almost sued by? The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles
No. We never got in any trouble or nothing. But Vince, I guess, was seeing if it was all right, and they said, no way, too much like the Ninja Turtles. Okay,
But
not we. Remember, I had big muscles sewed in them suits and all. They were hot as hell.
How big were the masks? I mean, a regular size mask is hard to work under, but
You got a second? 1 second. I'll
yeah,
be right.
sure. That's big right there.
you ever think about being a turtle, Mr. Brisco?
I did at one time, but I couldn't get on my back.
We've actually won as far as to have Disney make the new ones. Look.
Wow. Cool. That looks like, no wonder you had a little infringement.
Yeah, it looks just like it.
A little young.
That's Raphael there, isn't it?
I'm telling you, it is.
That's Tommy or Terry?
This is Tommy. That's me.
That too.
Terry Berry. Terry Berry. That's why we did it that way.
So when you go to signings, do you ever get asked to be signed as the turtle?
Well, that's what I was getting to. At the big event 3 years ago, we put out all kind of posters, everything. Guy was going to pay us big money to come as the Turtles. And WWE put a cease and exist on him, man. Said, you stop advertising. They will not be there. Kill it now.
Wow. From the
Why did they?
WWE.
Because does WWE own did they trademark the turtle gimmick?
The hell if no, they didn't do nothing. We were on TV one time, and then they did that tape, remember? And they said, oh, here's an old gimmick that never made it. And they put us on that. So that's why when that tape came out, everybody loved it. So the guy said, oh, I'll put you on a big event. You know what I mean? That'll be good. And nope, they got a cease. Said, I got a cease and exist from WWE's lawyers. Wow. I said, oh, he said, oh, yeah. He said, you guys are done. So you know what we did? Me and Barry went there as Barry and Dwayne, and halfway through the show, we just put them on and walked around and took pictures with everybody. Didn't charge nothing. And all the boys wanted the pictures with us.
Of course.
You know what I mean? We didn't take none with fans. We took them all with the boys.
So what? So on the tape, I haven't seen it. What are the big gimmicks that didn't make it?
Oh God! I mean, well, you had the gobbledygooker on there. You had Mantar. They said he started to make it, but
he could have made it if he could have got it in the ring with that damn head on.
I'm telling you. Yeah, but it was there, just some dumbass gimmicks, and never made them.
Well, we had some wild gimmicks back in those days, and most of them were so silly, man.
See, to me, wrestling isn't wrestling anymore. Now it's a bunch of average sized guys. To me, wrestling, and you know it yourself, was a freak show. These people were huge, larger than life, man. Just these big, giant, gassed up, man, just huge monsters, or gigantically obese, but can work like a son of a bitch, like Bundy, you know what I mean? Yeah. Bundy was huge, but there was no fat on that man. I mean, he was hard as a rock everywhere. Unreal.
So from WWE, where did you go from there? What did the progression go to? How long were you working with WWE once the Turtles got killed?
Oh, I stayed with WWE. We were jobbers. Turtles they just let us put them on, and sent us out. We were still jobbers, and we just stayed jobbers. You know what I mean? It wasn't like a guaranteed thing. I guess Vince just said, "Go out there, let's see how the crowd reacts."
And so, how often were you working for WWE, and were you working elsewhere at the same time?
Oh, I was working. Me and Barry got to where we were working like 20 to 25 days a month with WWE on the B tour. Never contracted. We were on the B, and we even got to be main event on the B tour quite a few times. Because
you were working all the live events with them.
Excuse me?
You're working all the live events.
Yeah, all the live house shows. Like we went on tour against the Smoky Guns. We went on tour against the Steiners. We went on tour against the Head Shrinkers. We went on tour against the Bushwhackers. We were doing 6-8 month tours with them.
Wow.
Yeah. The Bushwhackers. The Bushwhackers were the easiest, weren't they?
Oh yeah, come on, man. Actually, the head shrinkers were pretty easy too.
How were the signers with you guys? You guys have pretty decent matches with them?
Well, they sent us on the road for 10 days before the Steiners started on their first Raw, and we wrestled them on the first Raw too. Well, in the 10 days, we had 4 double shots. The first night, I cracked my sternum and broke my shoulder. Rick Steiner did that. You know, I was sitting on Scott's shoulders, and Rick did like the bulldog off the top. Well, he didn't know us, so he wasn't letting go. He was making sure I took that bump. And I had to drive from place to place with a big bag of ice across my shoulder and my chest so I could make it to the ring the next night.
Wow.
And finally, the fourth night, I said, "Hey, Rick, you agree me and him know how to work?" He said, "Yeah, you guys, man, work good, man. You guys are fun, man. You're a lot of us." I said, "Good. Then can you let go on the freaking finish?" He said, "What?" And I said, "Look, man, here's my x-ray. I got a cracked sternum and a broken shoulder. I want to finish this tour, man." He goes, "Oh, no problem, man." No problem at all. And then we wrestled them. You know, we wrestled the rest of the 10 days. Then we wrestled them on Raw, you know, the first Raw that they were on. And I wrestled a hell of a time on house shows, you know. Had a blast. I love it, you know. I just loved doing my job. See, no matter what, that's what people say. Oh, you're a jobber. You're and I want to say this: as old schoolers, you guys might be able to relate with this. I was excuse me. I mean, I was a jobber. I was not no damn enhancement talent. Enhancement talent is a valet, a manager, a dog, something outside the ring to enhance the match, not in the damn match. Yeah. And there's a jobber every match. Tell me I'm lying. Every match, somebody's got to do the job. So come on, man.
I talked to a guy the other day, a pretty good legend. I won't say his name because what he said to me. He goes, "I'm just an old jobber," and he wasn't. But I said, "We're all jobbers."
Yeah,
I can't tell you how many jobs I did for everybody.
You know what I mean? But I was a jobber. I wasn't an enhancement talent.
Oh, well, hell, he was a jobber who also was the longest reigning light heavyweight champion in WWE history, Dwayne. So you weren't doing all jobs, man, because you were the longest reigning champion. So you're winning some matches, man.
No, sir, I was doing jobs.
Barely hanging on. Huh?
If you remember correctly, I was light heavyweight champion, but I wrestled all heavyweights.
Right. So
I can't lose my title.
So how did you get? So tell us the story about the light heavyweight championship.
Well, what happened was they called me up. If you remember correctly, I wasn't up there for like a year and a half, and then they called me up. Howard Finkel called me. I said, "What are you calling for, Howard?" He said, "Dwayne, Vince told me to find Dwayne Gill." So I found Dwayne Gill. I said, "Yeah, now what?" He said, "Can you come up?" And he gave me the dates. And I said, "Well, Howard, Survivor Series is that first one." He goes, "Yeah." I said, "I don't work pay-per-views. I'm a jobber." He goes, "I guess they want you to get a payday, Dwayne." I said, "Cool, I'll be there." So I went up, and it was when Mick Foley had the mystery opponent, remember? Yeah. And I'm sitting there an hour before the show playing cards with Glenn. Well, Thrasher. I'm playing cards with him, and Mick comes up and goes, "Why ain't you getting ready?" I said, "For what, Mick?" He goes, "Holy shit, this really is a secret." I said, "What?" He goes, "You're my secret opponent, brother." I went, "What?" And he goes, "Yeah, you're the mystery opponent, man." I was like, "Oh my God." I had no clue. And what happened was, if you remember correctly, when I came out that night, they had a video up on the screen over top the ring, and it was me getting beat by everybody. And they had like a little music, and I was walking out, and I was talking to the crowd. I'm like, "Hey, it's me up there, man. It's me up there." And they set pyro off. But when they did, I dropped down. I was like, "Whoa." And then I got up. I was like, I knew that was happening, you know. And I did the match. Well, afterwards, Ed Farrar said he was watching it in his hotel room with his wife. And his wife was cracking up. She goes, look at this guy. He just loves being there. That's all he wants to do, man. Look at him. And that's when he talked to Russo, and him and Russo pitched it. And from what I understand, when they pitched to put me in the job squad and give me the light heavyweight title, Vince looked down and he goes, holy hell, Dwayne Gill is going to be my light heavyweight champion. And with that, the whole room, from what I hear, I wasn't in there, cracked up and everybody stood up clapping. They said it was the funny, I've never seen it in the history. They said, I guess everybody's like, well, the guy's took enough ass whooping, give him something.
Yeah.
So what
So
was? Go ahead, Jerry.
So off of that, you're offered a big 3-year contract, right?
Yeah, and I laughed in JR's face.
Tell us
And
the setup of that, Dwayne.
he said, hey, Dwayne, can you take a walk with me? I said, sure, yes, sir. And we're walking back, and we're like walking underneath the bleachers where nobody is. And the whole time I'm thinking, all right, no, I ain't been here in a while. I ain't done nothing bad. What the hell is going on? What's going on? You know how it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he turns around, he says, I guess you're wondering why I called you here. I said, well, yes, sir. It's going across my mind. He said, well, see, we want to put the light heavyweight title on you. And to do that, I got to sign you to a 3-year contract. I went, I said, yeah, right. Fuck you. I said, headbangers, Taker, where you at, man? Paul Bear? I said, this ain't funny, man. And I turned around. JR's looking at me like I got 12 heads. And I went, you ain't kidding, are you? He said, oh, no, son, that's a straight shoot. And I went, yes. And he goes, well, take time, call your ass, and screw my wife, screw my friends, screw everybody. Yes. I've taken 15 years of ass whooping. Yes, I wanted it. And he goes, all right, well, calm down. I got to get a contract together and all that. So I was playing cards with Thrasher, and he goes, oh, here he comes. Here he comes, man. He's got a bunch of papers in his hands, too. Oh, shit, you're really doing it. Right? And he walked by, and he, like, tapped me in the back, and he said, come on. And I got up, was following him, turned around, Thrasher goes, hey, Dwayne. I said, yeah. He goes, here. Throws me a pen. He goes, you might need that. I was like, awesome, man. So that night, I won the title. It was cool as hell.
Who'd you win the title off of?
Christian.
Wow.
And I ain't gonna lie to you, man. I went in to thank Vince and started crying my eyes out. I did. I pussified out, man. What can I say?
What'd Vince say?
He's laughing. He's laughing.
Well, when did they explain to the deal that you're going to be this champion and we're signing you this contract, but you're going to lose every match because you're not going to wrestle light heavyweight. You're going to wrestle heavyweight.
See, that wasn't it. I won the title as Dwayne Gill, and I was inducted into the job squad. Now I was wrestling as Dwayne Gill, and I was winning that way. But then I was talking to Paul Bear and Kane one night when we were doing a house show. And I was like, yeah, man, when the independents, I was making fun of all you guys. He goes, really? I said, yeah, I did the underfaker. I come out with long hair and did everything, man, just like Taker, and made an ass out of him. I said, and I did Stone Old. I said, because I look just like the son of a bitch. So I came out with, I took pool swimmies and made big braces on my legs and everything. And when I tried to get the finger, I was like, I didn't know which finger to put up. I had a walker and everything I came out to the ring with. And then I said, and I did Gilberg. And he goes, Gilberg? And I said, yeah, I said, I did this, I did it. He's like, oh, Dwayne Gill, you may have something there, boy.
This is Paul Bear telling you that, right?
Yeah. So the rest of the night, every time I walked by him, they were going, Gilberg. And I was laughing. So the next day, we had TVs, and I was in catering. And the boys were all going, Gilberg, when I was going to get my food. So I set the tray down, jumped up, and everybody laughed, and I thought that was it. 3 days later, I get a call from the office. Hey, what's this Gilberg gimmick? Oh, it's this, and this. I said, but I don't want to do Gilberg. And they said, why? I said, I'll lose my title. I said, I just won. I don't want to lose my title. And they said, we'll call you back. They called me back about an hour later. We go, we got it. And I go, what's that? And they go, you wrestle all heavyweights. You can't lose a light heavyweight title to heavyweights. I go, true. And they said, and the count begins 0-1, 0-2, 0-3, 0-4. I said, you got it, buddy. Let's do it. And they had no clue. And I'll be honest with you, Vince came up to me the morning of the show that I was coming out as Gilberg. And he like grabbed me and he's like rubbing my shoulder. And he goes, so, you ready? I'm really counting on you. Oh, you son of a bitch. Now the pressure of the world's on me, right?
But you know, wait a minute. That just shows you how involved that he was in every aspect of her business, no matter where you was. I was on the card. He always made a point to come and talk to you guys.
Jerry, I was there 2 years, and the only time I ever seen Vince was, hi, Mr. McMahon, bye, Mr. McMahon. That was it. He came up to me around Christmas time. He said, hey, Dwayne, how you doing? I said, all right, Mr. McMahon, how are you? He said, fine. No. He said, how's little Dwayne? How's he doing? I know you just had a son. I was like, yeah, how do you know that? He goes, that's my job. I was like, wow. So it amazed me there. You know what I mean?
That is.
Yeah, but anyway, he did that. So 20 minutes before I'm ready to go out, Hunter walks up to me and goes, Dwayne, what the hell is wrong with you? I go, what? He goes, I've never seen you so focused and worried and scared. I said, dude, man, Vince did this to me. He goes, Dwayne, you're doing a spoof. It's funny. Remember how we did the croc and all that? And I said, yeah. He said, dude, you can walk out there and fall and roll all the way down. As long as you get up there, it'll work. And I went, you're right. And the weight came off me, man. I was like, there we go. Here it comes, man.
Yeah, you know, you were respected like crazy. It just shows you how much respect you had if one of the top guys, the top guy in the company at that time, comes up and tells you, hey, man, have fun out there.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I mean, Sean came to bat for me a couple times when I was jobbing. Like when Mabel flattened me. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I remember.
Mabel almost killed me, man, when they were going for their tryout. Whew. Sean let him have it too, boy. I'll tell you what. But yeah, that where was I? I can't remember where it was.
The day of Gilberg.
Oh yeah. So they wanted me to wrestle Edge. And I said, Edge can beat me. I said, give me Luna. And they're like, what? And I said, you want to make fun of the guy, right? Yeah, give me Luna. And Luna's going, no, Dwayne, no, this is Raw, man. This is TV. Oh. I said, Luna, in real life, you could probably whoop my ass.
Not much doubt about that.
More guys were afraid of Luna than they were.
Luna can whip Dwayne. Luna can whip all of us.
Yeah,
that's so I said, Luna, in real life, man, you probably whoop my ass. I said, come on, man. She goes, you really want to do this? I said, yeah. She goes, all right. So we're doing the match. And in the middle of the match, she gets lost. And we run into each other in the middle of the ring. And she goes, I'm lost. I went, ball shot. And she hit me. And I grabbed her leg, Bradshaw, with my arm. I grabbed her arm with my legs because she did the boom, hit me in the ass and all. And I went, oh, real loud, man, as high as I could. And I'm holding on to her arm so she can't pull it out. She's going, let go of my arm. Let go of my arm. I'm going, oh, right in her face. She's going, you son of a bitch. Let go of my arm. Oh, and I fell over with her arm still there and all. And she goes, oh, you rotten bastard. Well, I told Pat before the match, when I go to get her up in the jackhammer, let that be the finish. I'll stagger around, boom, she falls on me, 1, 2, 3, right? No, I want her to dive off the top rope on you. Okay, we did the jackhammer, boom, 1, 2. When I kicked out, the crowd went, ugh. I mean, they were exploding, man, and they went, ugh. And afterwards, Pat goes, okay, you were right. The finish is they fall on you from now on. I said, gotcha. Thank you.
So who came up with the idea for the sparklers?
Yeah, WWE.
That was so cool.
We did it on the independents, and that's what I told them. But they came up with them 4-foot sparklers, man. I was like, good God.
Your whole entrance area was just so much fun, from falling from the dressing room, just like the other guys were doing with the other guy there. So it was just so much fun to watch.
So,
Yes,
Dwayne,
sir.
I know what the boys thought because I was there. We thought it was hilarious. We thought it was so funny and awesome. What was the reaction from like when you after you did it, after it was on TV, from your fans, from friends, all kinds of things like that?
Everybody said it was the funniest thing they've ever seen on WWF. And the
It was
highest
funny. It was funny.
Bradshaw, I swear to you, the highest compliment I ever got in wrestling was when I walked back through that curtain. There wasn't a wrestler, a McMahon, a TV guy that wasn't standing there laughing their ass off, clapping. The women had makeup running down their face because they laughed hard. And I mean, it was the greatest thing in the world. It really was. It was the biggest compliment I've ever been paid in my life. You know, and that made everything for me there. You know what I mean?
So did they ever tell you like what was the long-term plan for this? Was this just taking a shot at Goldberg? Was it because it was our competition?
When I went in and thanked Vince and was crying and all that stuff, he goes, he laughed, he goes, take the belt and enjoy it, man. Have fun with it. And then they told me, they said, man, take it on the independence, do whatever you want, just don't lose it. I said, gotcha. It's your belt. Take it. It's your belt. Well, then when they called me back to lose it to S.A. Rios, they said, can we use it for a week? I said, no problem. Well, S.A. lost it to Dean Malenko. S.A. Rios I'd have chased down and took it from him. Dean Malenko now, show your respect. I'm old school. Show your respect. He's got the belt. It's his now. You know what I mean? I ain't going to ask him. Never would. You know how it is. You know what I mean? The respect.
No, it is. But like the Gilberg, was there a long-term plan for Gilberg?
No. It was supposed to be one time. Supposed to be one time that match at Luna, and it turned into all the other times.
Wow, a long run there.
Yeah.
It got over. I mean, it was a funny parody, and it's.
What got me was I was the #1 wanted figure in Jack's Toys for a year and a half, and I never got a figure, never got a video game, never got a T-shirt, never got nothing. And like you say, I was what they say, the longest reigning light heavyweight champion in the history of WWF. Well, why didn't I get none of that? Later in life, I find out that Goldberg made sure that, now this is, I've never seen it in writing. This is what's told to me by the people I know in the know, that Goldberg has it in his stuff that I get nothing, or he would have never came. So wow. That's a millionaire talking to a guy who lives paycheck to paycheck.
Yeah. So you're 100 of those guys that decided that you could take this on the independent tour. How was it getting over on the independent? Were people popping? I mean, were the crowds really into it?
It was the biggest thing. I mean, they were going nuts. Everybody. I mean, it was the most awesome. Jerry, at $20 a Polaroid, I used to make $2,000 a night at intermission. Okay. That's the guy. And I would tell everybody, I can't sign them. I will come out after the matches and I will stand right here while they're tearing down the ring and sign every one. And I did every time, because many times I stood outside an arena waiting for my wrestler and he was already gone. You know what I mean? So I made sure everybody got one.
Have you ever talked with Goldberg?
We talked when we met. I met him twice at WWE. We did the Rock concert when he literally picked me up by my neck with one hand, and Rock took him out with a chair. But
how was he with you? Was he mad about it, or what was his thoughts?
The first time I met him, he told me I had an ass whooping coming, and I said, "You got a set of balls. I'll hand them back after the match." You know, because there's a little guy, I would have ripped his nuts right off if he started beating my ass. Not lying. And then the second time I saw him, he was really cool about it. But you could tell he didn't like me. And then I saw him at the big event. I went down into the room where he was signing, and when I walked up, he pressed me above his head, and everybody was taking pictures and everything. And then he put me down. I said, good. While you're in a good mood, let me ask something. He said, what's that? Because it was just before he did this last run. Because he said, thank you. And I said, for what? And he said, if you wouldn't have been out there pushing your Gilberg gimmick, they would have forgot about me and I wouldn't be getting this run. And I said, well, good. While you're in a good mood, why don't we have this match? I said, you'll make $1 million. I'll make $100,000. I can retire and you killed Gilberg. Nope. Turned around. That was it. Never said another word to me.
You know, some guys don't understand. Like when I had my run, Tracy Smothers was on the Independents doing JBL, like a big fat version of JBL. You know, like a
Oh, I know he did. I know Tracy very well.
yeah, like a foghorn leghorn. You know, which JBL. I thought it was the greatest thing ever, because I thought, you know, here he is doing this stuff. And I don't care that he's doing it because I like Tracy. I was fine with Tracy, but he's doing this. It's promoting the living crap out of me. Because if you're seeing this and you're going, okay, if that guy's doing a parody of JBL, who is JBL? You know, people want to see you then.
I got to see that guy. Yeah,
that's right. You want to see the real thing, because if it's special enough for people to do this parody of you and the whole crowd goes crazy, then obviously what you're doing a parody of, that's something that's big.
Now you're not WCW, but technically you're on WWF too. You're being showed on both shows.
Yeah. That's right. You are. See, I always thought that doing the fake Diesel and the fake Razor, to me, I thought all they did was promote them.
Yeah.
That's what it did. It just made them bigger.
And you know,
that had to be a thrill, though. You're hitting these independents and you're getting the huge pop. I mean, it's something while you were sweating your ass off there at the Monster Factory you were dreaming about doing, and man, here it is. You know, you're doing a parody of one of the biggest stars, but that along with that, that's elevating your work, and it just because of the fact that you're getting over tells everybody, man, this guy's more than a gimmick here. He's a real deal.
It was so cool because the fans, I honestly think the fans did look past everything and saw me. You know what I mean?
Well, they did. I think you're exactly right there.
Oh, Dwayne, it was so well done. And I tell you, I loved the sparklers. And then you would cough like you're inhaled a bunch of smoke and you can't breathe. It was so funny to watch you come out.
That's part of our business, you know, when you do things that you can have fun with, you know, and man, you're enjoying that phase of your career just tremendously.
Yes, sir. If you remember the first match against Luna, Jerry Lawler and JR were laughing so hard they could hardly talk. They were choking and everything. They're going, you got to give it up for this guy, man.
Well, you got to think about it, Dwayne. If you're doing a parody about a guy who's a massive star for the other company, and so if you're doing that, this has a chance of being an absolute disaster.
Yes,
it has
sir.
a chance of failing miserably and not working at all. I mean, really, if it'd been anybody but you, it probably would not have worked. But you had so much fun with this and so much charisma with it that people are looking and going, this is freaking awesome. I mean, we'd sit in the back and just laughing.
Everybody.
On the Independents, I used to do this match where I would take little skinny referees and they would get in an argument with the guy, and then the guy would jump out of the ring, and then he'd be up on the ropes yelling at him, and I'd put the referee shirt on, then run up, put the referee on my shoulder, and be staggering all around the ring. The referee's doing this, the guy's running from his boat. Oh man, we would have the people dying, man. I mean, just laughing their ass off.
Yeah, and you know, you gotta understand, you know, if you're Goldberg, it's not like you may put yourself on WWE television. Somebody else put you on.
Bingo. Now you want to hear
the person to be mad at, is it you?
No, it's not. That's what I was trying to tell him. But oh well. I just wanted a job. If that's what I had to do to get the job, I'll do. If I gotta make fun of you, I'll do that. If I gotta make fun of him, you know what I mean? whoever had to get the job. You know.
No, it was a funny time because at one point we never mentioned anybody on the other show. You remember Jerry. We never even would say anything about them. But then, everything was thrown out the window during the Attitude Era and the war. Those guys are rocking and they're killing us in the ratings. For that famous 83 weeks. They're beating us every single week. And that's when he came up with the Hulk Hogan guy on the walker and the billionaire Ted guy. I mean, they came up with
not Nacho Man and all that.
The Nacho, that's right, the Nacho Man. I mean, there was some funny stuff. Fake Kane.
Oh, yeah, it was. I still see Dink. I still see him all around.
Who's the one who played the Nacho Man?
Yeah, Dink.
Yeah.
What's his real name? I can't think of it. I always call him Dink. Yeah,
I can't think of his real name either.
It was just a crazy time where every rule that was there that got thrown out the window because everything got thrown out the window.
Brother, we were digging as hard as
we were trying to stay alive. We're trying to survive.
Trying to stay in business, yeah.
Yeah, we're literally trying to stay in business.
Yeah.
It was so much fun, though.
But that's what the business, that's what really attracts people to the business when they see you're having fun out there. Man, this kid's having fun. What's he doing? Let's join in on the fun. So.
Yes, sir. I enjoyed every second of my time up there. I mean, there was never a time I didn't have a blast.
See, I always thought Dwayne, like Michael Jordan to me is probably the greatest basketball player of all time. If not, he's certainly in the conversation. I don't think anybody would argue with that. But one of the reasons Michael had such an appeal was back in the 90s when he's playing, you look out there with his tongue wagging and he's flying through the air. I mean, you're looking going, this guy is having the time of his life.
He's even amazed at himself. He sinks those shots and he just, I can't believe it either.
And you're paying a fortune for tickets and you're saying this is worth every single penny because you're watching this guy who's an incredible athlete, but you're watching him with passion and do something that he loves. I think it's the same with anything. I think if you're watching somebody that's very talented, you admire it. But when you watch somebody that's very talented that also has a passion and you can tell loves what they do, that's when you leave and go, you know what? I paid a fortune for those tickets and it was worth every single penny.
You know it. Now I want to show you something. It's on pre-order right now. I got the very first one, the what do you call them? Anyway, it's the very first one. And it's going to be out soon. It's the Dwayne Gill doll.
All right, Dwayne. Finally got it, huh?
Yes, sir. I got it. Dun, dun, dun. And it's the very first one made. The reason it's held up is because what's missing? Tattoo. Gotta have the dotted. Do you know what the dotted line was?
What?
Why I chose the dotted line?
No.
Goldberg sold the rights to his tattoo to WCW, right?
Wow.
They can make the shirts and all that. Well, if you get fired, what do you got to do? Cut the arm off? Yeah, follow the dotted line.
Really?
Yeah, that's what the dotted line was for.
Oh my goodness, that is unbelievable.
I love that, man. I said, yeah, I got to do the dotted line. He said, for what? I said, if he leaves, they got to cut his arm off because they own the tattoo. So that was the funny part about that.
Jerry, was it? And he's a friend. I'm not making fun of him, but Adam Bomb, he got the Adam Bomb tattoo, right?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, he did.
And then ended up getting something happening. He ended up leaving, and you're like, and you don't own the name. I mean, that's a.
Yeah.
I don't know what you do at that point. Cut the arm off.
It's still on it. Yeah, it's still.
You put X's through the damn thing.
You put Oppenheimer under it. So you're promoting the movie.
Yeah. That's exactly it.
That's the reason in our business is why I never put your girlfriend's name on your body.
Yep. Yeah. That's the truth too. That is the truth. You don't do it anyway, man, because we'd have them scratched out all the way down her arm.
Yeah.
There was a guy who was an old special forces guy who lived around here in East Texas, and he had about 6 different wives' names on his arm, and he literally
Brilliant.
this is a true story. He literally had a line through them.
Are you serious?
I'm not making it up.
I love it.
He got married like 7 or 8 times, and
Oh my God.
he just put a line through them. I thought that's the greatest thing ever.
My brother Bill was married 4 times and twice to the same wife, and he had tattoos on all of them, so he had to bring one back.
Really? So what did he do when he got when he
He
get
put
rid
an
of
X on. They
those?
put an X on him. Put an X right there, in front of him.
So what? So how do you take the X off when you?
Well, yeah, I guess you just put another tattoo. I don't have tattoos. I don't have that body art, so I couldn't tell you. But he had her name put on there twice. So
Wow.
That
How
is,
do you divorce somebody and then go back and marry him again? You're
and
caught.
get divorced again.
Did they really?
Yeah, of course they did.
he was married twice to the same girl and
And divorced
twice.
twice to the same one. Yeah.
Really?
My
Did you
brother
ever?
Bill was a rolling stone, man.
Did you ever at any point say, "Hey, brother, you know, maybe"?
What he made at any point, as many times as we could, man.
What do you do? I said, that would have been my ad. What are you doing? Man.
So how did Gilberg come to an end there with WWE? I know it hadn't come to an end with you.
I lost the title. That was it.
Once you lost the title, that was it. Huh?
Gilbert. I just did the Miz and Morrison. Remember when Miz and Morrison were doing
Right.
the Goldberg and Drew McIntyre?
Yeah.
We did that. What was that? 2 years ago. They brought me up. No, it was 4 years ago because it was right after my heart attack.
Yeah. You brought up something. We'll get to your heart. I won't really get into that. But you brought up something when you did the deal with Rock and Goldberg. Tell us a little, because that was so cool. You're out there with these mega superstars, man, and you're right.
Oh yeah. No, everybody used to laugh. They go, "You're the only one that can make the Rock mess up," because we were out there and he was doing that Rock concert and I was dancing all around, right? And in the song he said, "And your mama's a hoe," and I stopped and I looked at him. I went, and the Titantron said, "Oh God, here it comes." So it zoomed right in on my face, and I went, "My mama's a hoe." And he covered up the mic, started laughing. He said, "Don't look at me, giggle panties. Get your ass dancing around this." But when we first started, we were out there practicing, and they just wanted me to stand there and go. I said, "Come on, Rock. We're making fun of the guy, man. Let me do this." And I went, and I'm dancing all around doing that. And these Rock's laughing his ass. He goes, "We can't just change it like that, though." I go, "But look at you." And he goes, "Come on with me." I said, where are we going?" He goes, "Vince's office." I said, "Come on, man."
Come on, man.
We go into Vince's office. He goes, "Vince, Gill wants to change it, not me." I said, "Oh, man, come on." He said, "What do you want to do?" I said, "Well, Mr. McMahon, when Rock's singing, you want me to just stand there and go?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "How about if I do this?" He went nuts. But he said, "Oh, do that. Yeah, okay, do that. Done. It's over." So that's how that happened.
That's what you got.
And Rock cracked up. And everybody's like, "I've never seen Rock mess up on an interview ever." And you got him to crack a smile.
Well, you know, Dwayne, for a self-described jobber, which we all are jobbers, as you point out correctly.
Yes, sir.
You got to work with the top of the top guys. I mean, that's pretty cool to look back on and go, especially now you see The Rock is in the main events of WrestleMania again this year.
Yeah. He's the man now. I mean, he's what, second or third in command in the whole company?
He's up there, whatever it is.
He's on the board. I don't know what he is, but he's on the board. He's important. I don't know what it is. He's important.
He's what you know, Rock. In all honesty, he deserves what he's got. He
I
really
agree.
he I mean, when he didn't know me from Adam and always treated me super nice. Anywhere I go, if he was there, he'd go, "Gill, what are you doing here? Come here, man." You know, so I mean, he really is that nice guy that you see.
Yeah, he is. Kevin Nash, who has said this publicly, so I would never say. I love Kevin. I would never say anything that Kevin wouldn't repeat publicly. But Kevin said one time, he said, I don't want to work as hard as The Rock. And he said, I understand, because The Rock, it's an unbelievable work ethic, those guys.
Oh, he got what,
John
330?
Cena has it. The Miz has it. I mean, all those top guys, Stone Cold had it. I mean, it's a workload that people have. It's hard for people to fathom. Mr. Briscoe's brother famously threw his watch in the lake when he got done with the NWA championship. It's a workload that's really hard to maintain. And Rock has done it for all these years.
And there's no time off when you're in that position either. You're going 24/7.
Yeah, it's one thing to the next. I mean, you look at a guy like The Rock, he can't not be The Rock. From the time he gets up in the morning to the time he goes to bed at night, everybody in the world knows the guy. And so everybody in the world wants something from him. I remember President Obama played golf at the little golf course I'm a member of in Bethesda, and my neighbor said, "Yeah, I saw
a little one that the ex-president happens to belong to."
That's right. But when my friend said, "Yeah, I didn't want to."
By the way, did he almost hit you with a golf ball too?
He did almost hit me with a golf ball. I was having a hot dog and a Coke, and he almost hit me with a golf ball. Yes, and it was a Pro V44. He has his number, his presidential number on the golf ball. The guy beside me got it. I go, steal it. And he goes, I'm not going to steal a present. I'll steal it. Give it to me.
You got it?
Yeah. He shanked the golf ball and almost hit me having a hot dog.
Can I take 2 seconds to say goodbye to my grandson?
Of course you can.
Of course you can.
Sorry.
So, John, what'd you do with that golf ball? The Secret Service come and take it out of your hand?
Yeah, the Secret Service came and got it.
Wow.
Yeah, the ball hit by where we were.
You should have dropped your hot dog and your Coke, and hey, man, I've just spent $50 on a hot dog and Coke, and they knocked it out of my hand.
Yeah, I should have just been laying on the ground.
There, that's even better. Holding your head,
So the guy beside me was a huge.
Yeah, you do a little wrestle thing.
That's right. Do a little gig, get a little color, and just lay there. I've been hit by Obama. That's what I said a joke about him one day. I almost said Bin Laden. He had a putt one day, and I watched him. He was on the 9th green, and his guys he's playing with didn't give it to him, and he missed the putt. I'm like, that guy killed Bin Laden. Would you give him the freaking putt? How many ex-presidents do we have in this world? Give him the putt.
That killed Bin Laden. Yeah,
that's right.
So what did the Secret Service say to you, when they came up?
Oh, nice as he could be. Came up and got it, and President Obama made a little joke, and walked off. Apparently, he seems like a very affable, friendly guy. But what's funny is the guy beside me was this huge President Obama fan. He came up and sat beside me because he wanted to see him. I didn't know he was on the course. I'd never seen him before until that day, and then he hit the golf ball near us. And so when the guy left, I made the joke, and it was just a joke. I said, he's obviously better at basketball. And the guy looked at me and goes, he's a great athlete. Like, dude,
damn.
Don't get hot. I'm joking.
Yeah.
But that's the worst golf shot I've ever seen. Don't say that. But even good golfers hit bad golf shots. Not a big deal, but don't get hot.
Speaking of bad golfers hitting a good golf shot, congratulations, Dwayne. You're sitting in the presence of a guy with a hole-in-one on the most prestigious golf course in the island of Bermuda, John Layfield, man.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Dwayne, I got a hole-in-one last week. And here's the best part. If you get a hole-in-one, you got to buy drinks for everybody else. So it was a tournament. There were 45 teams, 180 players. I'm thinking,
oh my God, no.
I'm thinking this is going to cost me a fortune. I don't care. I'll never get a hole-in-one again. I don't care. I go in there to the bartender, and I thought, you know what? I'm going to be a man. Whatever it is, it is. I'm not going to be that guy that doesn't, pay his debts and get everybody a drink. So I thought, if I go bankrupt, I'm going to buy everybody a drink. So I walked in there to the bartender. I said, hey, get everybody a drink, got a hole-in-one. They go, oh, yeah, we heard. He said, but sir, it's the free cocktail party has just started.
All right.
Of course, he would. He waited until that 5 o'clock whistle blew. Then
You dang right I did. You better believe I did.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
It's the most lucky day of my life. I get a hole in one. The bar is full of people. I've got to buy drinks, and I can't because it's a free cocktail party for the tournament.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
If I could have bought a lottery ticket, I'd have gone right out and done it. But I don't think they have lottery in Bermuda, so I didn't buy one.
You know, when I play golf, they call me Tiger.
Why is that?
Tiger in the woods.
Tiger in the woods. Okay. There's your golf joke, John. The next time
I spend more time looking for balls than I do playing golf.
So, Dwayne, what are you up to now, man? Obviously, you're still doing the autograph gig, so they ran into you at one.
Yes, sir. But full-time gig is I'm a regional manager for the state of Maryland. I run the Senate.
You're a bridge inspector?
No. I'm not Nikolai. I run the buildings that all the senators are in Maryland.
All the senators are in?
Yeah, every senator in Maryland's in my building.
Really?
And you know, it's cool. You have no idea how many senators are wrestling fans that come in with their belts to get pictures with me.
Really? Wow, that's awesome.
Here, you have no idea.
Can you ask him about that crooked commission in Maryland?
Oh my!
That's Mr. Briscoe's buddies.
Hey,
yeah, my buddy. Yeah.
Listen to this. Last week we had a show, and I sat down because Pat Pinella and all of them are gone now. They're all gone. It's a whole new rank. And I go, hey, let me.
Pat was the little guy, right?
No, Pat Pinella was a tall, skinny guy.
Okay.
You're thinking of Lou Levy, the little old guy.
Yeah.
Lou Levy. That was Lou Levy. But
he was the one I got along with real well.
Yeah, I bet they were goofs.
Yeah, they were. I asked them, I said, can I ask you something? And they said, yeah, what's that? I said, are we a legitimate sport? No, you're not. Then what the hell are you doing here? They said, what do you mean? I said, aren't you the athletic commission? Yeah. Don't you go guide over real sports? Yeah.
They're there for the money. I mean, it's such BS. You know, they'd take your blood pressure and it could be 200 over 180 and they'd pass you because they didn't care. They wanted money.
I won't say names, but I'm sure you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. I saw somebody get their blood pressure taken. They said it's too high to work. Hour later, he comes back. All right, you can work now. Your blood pressure's good. He was sewed up like a son of a gun, man. And, all right, you can work now. I was like, well, get out of here, man.
Hey, Jerry, Tim White got in trouble a couple times. You probably heard the story where they wanted, because those guys would want to settle up and get their money and leave.
Yeah, early.
They wouldn't even watch the show. I mean, they were just crooks. And so Tim would go to a nearby bar so they couldn't find him during the show and come back after the show. And they finally complained enough to the office that they go, Tim, just settle up with them. This is not worth the
get out there.
Yeah.
He did.
That was the worst athletic commission in the world.
Yep. And they suck you dry, man. They suck you dry. And now they want you to sign a release stating that they don't carry insurance on you.
Wow.
I said, what the hell are you here for? Why are you here? There's no reason for you being here. If you don't have insurance on us, there's not any reason for you being here. None.
Well, there is. They want to stick their hand in our pocket.
That's
they can't do that if you're not there.
Yep. It's ridiculous.
Those are Jerry's buddies.
All of them were, man. Little Lou, he wanted me kicked out of the building one time because I was giving him so much shit. He said, I've had it with you. Who's your boss tonight? I said, I am.
Oh yeah, Lou Levy, yeah. thrown out and everything.
He said, "You need to leave the building." I said, "No, sir. I can't leave like you guys do in the middle of the show." And that even got him more pissed off.
I won't tell you exactly what Jerry said because I don't want to repeat them exactly. But I think it was the big tall guy. I needed somebody to sew up. Ron had a couple stitches he needed in his head, and we're leaving with Hermie Sadler to go down to his place for Christmas, around Christmas to go. And so I said, "Hey, I need a couple stitches." And Boss Man had called him with something or whatever it was, and he goes, "Who did it?" And I'm like, "I'm not gonna stooge who did it. It was in a match. You just watch the television. If you'd have watched the matches, you'd have seen it." I go, I don't know. It was just a mistake, whatever it was. He goes, "I have to know who did it." I go, "Well, I don't know who did it. I just need somebody to sew up the doctor."
That's Pat.
So finally, Jerry comes up and the guy says, "I will not take an applicant," or whatever he called me, talking to me like that. And I go, "Man, who the hell are you?" So Jerry then says, "John, I've got this. And the guy turns to Jerry and says something. Jerry goes, "You shut up now." To the commissioner.
Really?
A little more colorful language than that. But the guy's like, "Oh my God, he's really mad at me."
And he shut up.
He did shut up and he left.
Pat Pinella was kooky, man. He was power crazy, dude.
Oh, he's an idiot.
He loved banning people from wrestling in Maryland. Loved it. It's like, what? What are you talking about, man? Ban me from Maryland.
So, Dwayne, if people want to get hold of you now, is there a way to get hold of you that you put out on social media or something like that?
Facebook,
you can promote?
Messenger, Instagram, all of it. Just Gilberg, Dwayne, the real Dwayne Gill, the real Gilberg. It's all out there.
The real Gilberg.
Huh?
The real Gilberg. I love that.
That's it, man. Yeah, real Gilberg. That's what I am too. Everything I do is got to be with the Berg, you know. I love it. I mean, it gave me my fame, gave me my 15 minutes. You know what I mean? And I actually held a title, and I mean, I fulfilled a childhood dream. I held a title in WWF.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Not only held it, but you held it longer than anybody else in the history of WWE.
That's right. And it can never be beat.
Yeah.
Never be beat.
The title's not there anymore, right?
There is no more WWF.
Exactly.
That's right.
Well, thanks so much, my friend, for coming on. We've had a ball here, and hope everything goes well for you.
Guys, thank you so much, man. I appreciate this so much. You have no idea. It was great talking to you two, man, because y'all know, man, I love you guys, man. I've looked up to you my whole life. So
we've had a lot of fun together. I'm sorry about the clothesline.
Hey, that's part of the job. You know that.
Hey, tell the story. You told it before we went on air. When I hit you with the clothesline, you had like two arms up. I said, "Yeah, you not have your." Go ahead.
Knock me out. And the fourth one, you said clothesline. I was like, "Oh, come in like this, man." And you go, "Hell, Gill, you tried to block that last." And I said, "Bradshaw, if I could have got my leg up there, I would have."
That made me laugh.
You laughed your ass off. You're laughing off big time. That was so funny. Though. I said, "Man, I'm working you guys. I'm so excited." Hell, Gill, what you do?
So did you have any fun time with Ron out there? I know John knocked you silly probably too
stop
much,
it.
but Ron, he was a perfect gentleman out there.
Hey, take 5 dominators on the floor. That'll
I dominated him on the floor, Jerry. Wow, don't say anything about me.
Yeah.
I literally, I didn't know what was going to happen, and I thought something had fallen out of the ceiling. I heard this splat, and I look around, and Ron has dominated you on the floor. And I go, "Oh my God, he could be dead."
I'll tell you what, though, I had so much fun. There's nothing I like better than going out there and doing those jobs and bumping the way I did. Because
fun being out. It's fun being out there with guys who love the business, and just it's a good time.
Mm-hmm. It's a good time is exactly what it was. And I wish the business today could be just even a little bit like it was. You know what I mean? It'd be a lot more entertaining. Now they don't even know what a finish move is anymore. Thank God for Randy Orton.
Oh man. Yeah,
you know what I mean? He's got a finish move.
Yeah.
Are you doing anything during WrestleMania week up in the Philly area?
To be honest with you, I was booked, and the guy waited till 2 days ago to call me and say, I didn't get the table in time. I said, dude, I turned down like 8 bookings.
Wow.
And no, I won't be there. I was supposed to be right there through the whole thing, and there you had me booked through the whole weekend, everything. And nope.
Yeah.
I was like, man.
Well, you can take John's spot at Blue Mini Festival there in Philly.
No, I'm gonna go if I can.
You're gonna go.
Yeah,
I went there with Meanie one time. That's a hell of a beer joint, man.
Yeah. It's he puts it on Twitter all the time. I've always wanted to go up there and go with him to the place. And if I can, I'm gonna go at WrestleMania. I don't even, I don't know if I'll be allowed to. That's the issue.
Yeah, your time. I mean, they get your flesh out of you. There.
Oh, I got tons of stuff to do once I get up there. I mean, I got just a million things. I'm gonna be booked the whole time. Ron, I'm going up there with Ron, and we're gonna be doing a ton of stuff. So,
well,
if I can,
we'll go. I'm gonna ask you for a favor too. Or my brother Thunderbolt is getting there. You please make sure Ron can spend some time with Thunderbolt. I'm sure.
I sure will. Yep.
Ron is a total class act, brother. You were lucky there, Bradshaw.
I was.
Awesome.
Amen. He was. Yeah.
Yep. I've said that Ron's been the biggest break I ever had in life and in wrestling.
Great guy, man. He used to sit me down and talk to me and everything, man. He's
the nicest guy, and he's done that to so many people. He's just a good human.
And he doesn't have an agenda when he's doing that either. That's just Ron. That's how nice the guy is.
It's just Ron, man. He is.
They had a problem with somebody a few years ago at one of the Florida State athletes, and they literally called Ron in to come talk to him.
Wow.
Really?
That's how much people. Ron's that respected everywhere he's been. He's the guy.
I respect him way up. You know what I mean? He's awesome, man. He's awesome.
Well, Dwayne, thank you so much,
guys. Thanks again, man. Like I said, friggin' blast, man. Thanks again. It's awesome, and see me as a kid. It's like I'm sitting here talking to you guys. You know what I mean? It's awesome. It's awesome, man.